I'm here at Rabobank's FoodBytes pitch event in Chicago, where next door to me, 15 startups are practicing their pitches in front of a live audience and getting tips and feedback from mentors and judges. So what's the best way to start a pitch? Do you outline a problem and then explain how you solve it?
Typically companies do outline a problem, but what I like to tell my startups that I work with is that describe a shift that's occurring,
okay.
right? And when this shift occurs, there's winners and there's losers. And you need to position your startup as being a way that will just take advantage of this shift and become a winner.
I think a lot of entrepreneurs like to start with outlining a problem, saying this is what the problem is, this is how many billions of dollars this problem is worth, and break it down to the TAM, and then highlight how this is an important area and it's very purpose-driven. I think one of the best ways to actually start a pitch is to demonstrate credibility alongside that. So demonstrate credibility by saying this is the landscape that is tackling this problem, this is how we stack up against them, and how we're differentiated, stand out, and how we're competitively advantaged.
Let's say you're impressed by, here's the shift, here's where my company fits in. What do entrepreneurs need to say next when it comes to execution to give you that warm and fuzzy feeling as a potential investor?
Show me that they're committed, right? I never like investing in a startup where this individual is doing this on the side, where they have a 9-to-5 job and this is something they do on the side. I understand you need to make ends meet, but really show me that you're committed to this startup.
I think that it's always good to see that they are developing a well-defined go-to-market strategy and have some plan in mind, and that they've justified it somehow, whether it's having spoken with customers, potential customers, pilot customers. I think they're both important. And then getting that sort of feedback that justifies this is the right route to market.
So when you're giving feedback to startups practicing their pitches, do you find yourself saying certain things again and again?
Yes. Show me how you're unique. What is your IP? What is your know-how that makes you different than anyone else? How are you competing in an industry that really makes you stand out?
I think they need to have more confidence a lot of times. I think these entrepreneurs have amazing technologies, amazing business models and solutions to very big problems. And a lot of them have actually a lot of traction from the beginning. And so they need to be proud of that, recognize that, and that needs to carry a certain confidence.
So what about red flags? Are there certain things that immediately raise alarm bells in your mind during a pitch?
Red flag, going back to my initial point of not being committed to the startup.
Right.
Another red flag would be, only family money has been given to you so far. Demonstrate that you've been able to go out and capital raise and show other people that this idea is legitimate for fundraising.
I'd say not knowing the competitive universe very well, not knowing that landscape, not having an analysis that shows how they stand apart. I'd say when I get the sense that they're not being honest with me, it's usually the people element, and it could be that they don't know the answers, and that's okay, but to try to compensate for that by trying to establish more credibility the wrong ways can be a very big red flag.
So what really piques your interest or impresses you during a pitch?
It's the passion, right? It's that founder who quit everything to do this startup and does this more than just 9 to 5, right? Does 12-hour days, 7 days a week. And it's that passion that really drives me to a founder.
So beyond passion, what specifically do you tend to look for from a founder or a management team?
Either a track record of successful startups that person's run, or if that's not available, then certainly a deep amount of experience in the problem that they're trying to solve.
What are some of the most important questions that founders should be asking of investors?
I think it's very important that during the pitch that the founders are also interviewing investors. It needs to be the right fit. Not all money is the same. Even when you're talking to domain experts on the VC side who are focused on this space, I think it's good to test them and what their knowledge is, what their network is, how they're going to actually add value, and what their approach is, in terms of working with startup companies and backing founders. do they invest in 30 plus companies out of the fund, or are they looking to be far more selective, far more hands-on, and kind of disrupt the venture strategy, if you will?